Okay, so we're going to look at a sequence that starts from the guard, and then we're looking at how to bail out of the guard when your sweeping attempts fail. All right, so I've got Chris in the guard, and he's hitting. So I have to keep him close, overhook any arm I can. You know, keep my knee and elbow close on this side to sort of inhibit that arm from hitting it. Keep my head on this side close to him, not on the floor, but up, you know, ear to ear. And in the course of this, I might be able to set up a sweep. But what I'll do is, I'll put as he's trying to get his posture anyway, I'll put my feet on the mat and move my hips out to here. And I can even go foot to the hip. I might have tried for a scissor sweep, but his base, I can feel that it's too good. And that's one of the problems with the scissor sweep is if he has a good broad base, he keeps his hips back, and you can't pull him forward, then no scissor sweep. But you do have a position you can regulate distance with my legs and the turn of my body. And I'm trying to control this arm. Even if it goes to the wrist or something is fine, but I'm holding him. And if he tries to hit, you see I can push on his hip and I can bring this knee across. All right, I'm watchful that he doesn't try to hook the leg and sit back for say a heel hook or something. But I can usually read that change as his head goes back and he tries to start to wrap the leg. But in the course of all this, you know, I might sit up, but I'm gonna post on his head. I was pulling it and then I'm gonna push. I'm gonna push him out, get up on this hand really quickly. My foot went from here to there. All this happens at once. So I'm here, and it's like this, all at once. Post, foot on the floor, post the arm. And then I'm gonna get this leg out before he tries to grab it and get up. And he might drive toward me, so I'm gonna snap him down and go behind. All right, so there's that pressure, just a sudden pressure to snap him down. I get behind him, and I'm gonna grab his wrist, and from here I can hit. All right, so now I'm gonna change positions with Chris and demonstrate what happens from there. If he is, let's say you're on my other side, and I'm here, he's got my wrist, and he's hitting. So this is, you know, one of the things that turns up the heat when you're doing, in this case, we're gonna do a modified wrestling counter to this position, is the fact that he's able to hit me. I mean, I can't stay here and just think too much about what I'm gonna do. I've gotta move. All right, so he's hitting. And so one thing I can do initially though, is if I bump my hip into him, I can force him for the moment to post his arm there. It might get a little distance between his hips and mine, but you have to recognize that whether we're hitting or not, my real problem positionally is that he's maintaining proximity between our hips, and I've got to get distance between our hips to really get out. So he's got this, and so whether he keeps the grip or I break the grip and pinch and grab his arm, you know, I can do it both ways. There are different ways you can modify this. This is better though, but I'm pinching his arm so he can't get it out. If he tries, yeah, he can't. Now I'm going to post this leg and I'm going to sit out, getting some distance between my hips and his. And then I'm going to throw my hips over and turn on my other side. But notice since I'm pinching his arm, that's going to force his head down and forward. And my head pops out. And then I can come back behind him, and now it's my turn. Now I get to hit. But what might happen is this. If he knows that he's supposed to keep his hips close to me, then I'm here and I break this grip and I sit out and his hips follow me, you know, as I turn, right? So I've got to really, let's move back. Instead of sitting out next to him, I sit out this way. So I'm automatically creating, hopefully, 135, maybe 180 degrees radially between his hips and mine for a moment. He's still trying to stay with me. But the direction I sit out in initially means my hips might be further away. So I'm here. So if I sit out here, he's going to follow me. But if I sit out here, I might get some distance. He tries to hop over, and I block it. Yeah, I can block it. But if I fail to block it, then I'll hook his leg as he's going over, and I'll take that momentum, and it leads right into a Peterson. Your Peterson roll. All right. Once I'm here, I sort of have a tiger by the tail. He's behind me, and my arms are sort of occupied. So I'll let this go, and I'm going to bring this elbow down. I'm going to hook and turn into his legs and hug him. All right? And then stabilize from here. So always turn, when you come up, back to front. You want to always turn toward his legs, not toward his head. If you turn toward his head, he's going to come up behind you again. All right? And so you're dealing with somebody that may have some wrestling, hopefully not at all, but they may know something about the turtle position, and you can work this in the course of him trying to hit you, and you work in that grip, and then sitting out and getting your hips moving.